Okay, Jim, thank you. All right, we're still waiting for one. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Welch Elementary School Building Committee meeting of August 23. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast by the Peabody Access TV. Thank you very much for helping us with this. And this is a Zoom call, and if anyone wanted to get public comment, that's available as well. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's 9:36, and we are just going to go a bit out of order. Our next order of business would be approval of our minutes, and we're going to hold on that till we have.
Well, actually, Bev, Jen Dort just joined, so now we have a quorum.
All right, we can get back to business then. There we go. Thanks, Christina. Okay, right now I would like to entertain a motion to approve the May 25th minutes from that meeting of that day. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Michelle. And is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Josh. Okay. So we have motion made to approve the May 25th, 2023 minutes. Any discussion? Any corrections? Okay, I'm going to do a roll call vote on that. Okay. The motion was made by Michelle Massa and seconded by Josh Vidala. Okay. Beth McGivern.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Jim Hafey.
Yes.
Thank you. Pete McGinn.
Yes.
Okay. Eddie Colbert.
Yes.
Jen Dort.
Yes.
All right. Josh Vidala.
Yes.
Michelle Massa.
Yes.
Pete McGinn.
This is the second time you called me, Bill, but yes.
Oh, sorry. You know what? The names keep bouncing on the screen. Oh, sorry about that. Sam Rippon.
Yes.
Okay. And I vote yes as well. Did I miss any of the voting members? All right. The next motion, I need a motion that would to be approval of the June 29th, 2023 meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion in that regard?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you,
Second.
Michelle.
I'll second it, Bev.
Thank you, Josh. Okay. Any discussion, corrections to those minutes? All right, hearing none. I'm going to take the roll call. I'm going to call on Pete McGinn first, so I don't call on you twice, Pete.
Yes.
Josh Vidala,
Yes.
Michelle Massa,
Yes.
Beth McGivern,
Yes.
Ed Colbert,
Yes.
Jim Hafey,
Yes.
let me see, Jen Dort,
Yes.
Sam Rippon.
Yes.
Okay, and I vote yes as well. Is there anyone I did not call? All right, and I believe both of those votes have passed. Thank you. At the moment, I'm just going to take one quick minute to back up a bit. I want to introduce the people who are online. I'm Beverly Griffin Dunn, chair of the committee. We have Aiden Place from Durham Whittier, who is running the computer screen here. Christina Del Angelo with Durham Whittier. I have Ed Colbert, member of the building committee. Beth McGivern, member of the building committee. Christopher Kavanaugh with Consigli Construction. Todd Consigli Construction. Dan Doucette with the city of Peabody. Jeff Oxalita with Denisco Design. Jen Dort, a member of the school building committee. Jim Hafey, member of the committee. Dr. Josh Vidala, our superintendent, member of the committee. Mike Burton with Doran Whittier. Michelle Massett, principal at Welch and a member of the committee. Pete McGinn, counselor Ward 2 and a member of the committee. Sam Rippin, member of the committee, and our business manager for the schools. And then again, thank you to Peabody TV. Is there anyone I missed? All right, I'm going to turn this over to Christina Delangelo. Christina, you go right ahead and give us the updates. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm actually going to be turning it over to Chris Kavanaugh, and he's going to be providing an update as far as construction.
Okay, very good.
Thanks, Christina. Before I get into the specifics of the photos we're going to look at today, I just wanted to speak kind of to a high level, obviously with this being the meeting before the turnover at the end of this month. So overall, I'm sure anyone that's been on site has seen the amount of work that's going on right now. So if you were to drive through this morning, you'd see that we're placing the remainder of the concrete going across the entryway. We do have the remaining of the exterior siding materials coming next week to get installed on that front face. And come the first day of school, you know, the expectation is that front facade will be complete and landscaped and hydro-seeded and ready to go for, you know, obviously teachers and students coming back to school. On the inside of the building, we always knew, we've always talked about, you know, the areas that we took over at the conclusion of the school, which we call phase 2B, you know, over in the cafeteria and the 2 classrooms that are over towards the back right-hand side of the stairwell, we call stair B on the back side of the building. And then the 2 bathrooms that are getting, you know, transitioned into offices. So those areas are still our hottest areas. And right now there's a major push to getting those areas, you know, finished and completed for move-in at the end of this month. So it is tight. We are working overtime and you'll see us here on weekends as we have been, but just wanted to give everyone a quick update on that. We did receive some bad news in relation to some fabrication and supply chain delays in regard to the elevator. So just to make everyone aware of it, the elevator will not be installed prior to the start of school. We double checked with the building inspector, the city officials, and we've also double checked with Michelle and her logistics plan to make sure that won't be an impact to opening the building or accommodating anyone that may need you know, support. And that's been all clarified and we're good to go there. So as unfortunate as it is, we do have a good plan in place to walk through that. And, you know, we've discussed that in our weekly meetings, but I just wanted the committee aware of that expectation and where we stand today as we move towards, you know, turning this over in a few weeks and getting, you know, the furniture moved in and the FF&E installed and teachers coming back on the 29th and subsequently the students coming back on the 5th. So as we jump into the photos now, the exterior, so we did the ACM panels. You can see the panels up at the edge of the roof line. Like I said, where you see the white and the black still on the facade, that material is coming next week, and we have dedicated crews ready to get those materials installed. At the front entranceway, you can see that the concrete plaza, so to speak, that contains the new flagpole has been erected, installed, placed, and ready to go. You can see also that the new asphalt walkways have been installed as well, both binder and top coat. That's butts up to the new curbing that we installed all the way across. And like I said earlier, we are finishing that roadway as we are going across at that raised speed table that's going to connect to the parking lot. So that is ongoing this morning. Over at the back side of the building, we are ongoing with our finalization of the playground subgrade, getting working on the new concrete curb that's concrete that goes around the perimeter of that. We're expecting next week to be on site installing the poured in place, the new surfacing at that playground. So we're ongoing with that scope over through the end of next week. Another instance of some site concrete, we placed all of the front side of the building and over actually at Swampscott Ave, the new ADA handicap accessible concrete ramps with, like I said, that adjacent asphalt sidewalk, the new matching the old, but butting up right to those areas. So that work should be completed with the sidewalks today. And then over in the kitchen, so we have, or excuse me, the cafeteria. So you can see all of the new overhead in the cafeteria space is complete. We have the new lighting fixtures hung. You can, if you look closely, you could see the fire protection sprinkler heads have been dropped into the ceiling tiles that are up. And then we are working on completing the overhead and in-wall up on the proscenium of the stage and also beneath the stage, underneath in the crawl space that gets ductwork and fire protection piping. So that work is ongoing as we speak. Over at the new bathrooms, you could see that the wall tile, this is up on the second floor. So we obviously did one of the bathrooms last phase in phase 1 and completing the second bathroom during phase 2. This was previously used through the end of the school year. So the tiles getting installed today, they're actually finishing up in that bathroom and moving over to the single staff bathroom on the second floor right now with someone dropping back to grout the walls. Next week we'll be in there installing the epoxy flooring that's remaining in both bathrooms. Over on the second floor, you can see the new casework has been installed in the classrooms on the second floor. Right now, the flooring is going in, and the casework is now being installed down on the first floor. So on that first floor, it is not the orange color, it is the blue color. So second floor gets the orange, first floor gets the blue, and then over on phase 1, like we've already seen, gets the green. So we're progressing through these classrooms. Marker boards and tack boards in these spaces are all getting hung through the end of this week as well. So these spaces are wrapping up and coming up to a conclusion. We'll flood the ceiling and get started on the punch list process once the floors and the ceilings are all set. Stair A, so this is again by the stairwell that's adjacent to the loading dock. We showed the new curtain wall installed, but now we have the ceiling grid up, flooded, and the new drops installed. So that just shows our flow of work. We'll be over through the classrooms and into stair B afterwards. This is the update in the kitchen. Even since this time, this was taken about midweek last week when the equipment was dropped towards the end of the week, rather. You could see the epoxy flooring was completed. The equipment was dropped off. All the ceiling grid and cuts are now in with overhead devices. And right now, the electrician and the plumber are over there connecting up the equipment and tying all that equipment in. Over on 2B, so this is the one classroom that's remaining to go. This was at the end of last week. Since this time, this room is progressing. We're finishing up the rest of frame board and tape at the end of this week so that we can get in there and get going on the finishes over the last few weeks here. That spray insulation was the last component of that in-wall structure. So like I said, that we do have the pressures on essentially for the phase 2B, and we just got to push through and hit our date. So not sure if anyone has any questions, but feel free to fire away.
Anybody with a question? Because I have two. Ed, do you have a question?
I do not.
Okay. All right, I'm going to lead off. Maybe I'll get some more people to ask questions. One question that I realized, Chris, and actually, Jeff, you may be able to help us with this. Out in front of the building where Tanya Diachisen's bench will go, is the walkway to her bench going to be like it was in the past with like a stone walkway over to it? Or is it hot top? I'm just.
We could If Christina could go back to that picture, I can point out exactly where the area that we designated for the bench is. So we designed the circular portion to be concentric with the radius on the bench. So the bench would sit right on that concrete area that you see there.
Okay.
Obviously, between the school and the city and the family, it can be placed anywhere. But that was the space that we reserved for it.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. And then,
And Bev, just to add a little context to that too, we it is shown on the drawings, and the detail at that area is we call a haunch. So there's a depressed, thicker portion of concrete at the area of the bench to give it some extra support for, a little bit of an added load rather than just walking over it. If people are sitting on it, there's just a thickened slab at that little location.
okay, very good. Thank you. And then I had just one other question. Actually, it's not even a question. But seeing that photo of stair A, for anyone who's worked in that building or been there for years, what an amazing difference to be able to see that view out the window. That is absolutely incredible. So thank you for showing that.
Yeah, I would say probably by the end of the week, stair B should be up as well. So that's ongoing as we speak.
That's great. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions on any of the photos that you've seen?
Bev, this is Ed. I don't have any questions regarding the photos because again, I'm not on Zoom. I'm doing it by telephone.
Oh, that's
But I
right.
do have a question. If we can back up a little bit, what's the anticipated delay for the elevator? When do you expect the parts to be in?
Mhm.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, so we're anticipating the end of this month for the parts to come in. We're coordinating what that plan is in terms of putting a temp wall up that can easily be taken down and get in, and working out the plan for the installation with the elevator sub. But we are anticipating getting it at the end of this month and having it complete by the end of September.
Okay, that's all. Curious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good question. Thank you, Ed. Anyone else with any questions? Oh, actually, I did have another one. The concrete around the playground, is that going to help with any of the drainage that would land at the playground? Is that why we're putting the concrete around it?
Nope. So the concrete is a curb. So before we landed and started the project, you had those wood railroad ties that acted as a curb between the binder of the road and the depression for where the wood chips sat. In lieu, basically, you need that transition piece between the roadway and the playground itself. So as a replacement to those wood railroad ties, it gets a new concrete. It's just a curb. So if you think of like the granite curb we have, instead of a granite curb going and surrounding that, it's just concrete, and that gives the border for the asphalt to butt up to, as well as the new playground surfacing to butt up to as well. Creates a break between those two materials.
Good. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. In terms of the drainage though, Bev, the new playground, if you look at this photo, you see the fence on the far side of where the photo was taken on the plan north side. That gets a large collector pipe. And actually underneath all the black Marafi paper you see there, new underground panel drains are installed throughout the entirety of the playground. So when rain falls on the poured in place, it'll slowly seep down through it. It'll hit the stone and dense grade sub base that it has, and then it'll flow into the panel drainage, where then it, based on the grading and the slope, will flow to the north into that collector pipe and then down into the stormwater system.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just one comment. So as Chris mentioned, there's a lot of work to get in place in really the next 3 weeks. So, we do have a little bit of concern about the level of completion at where we're at right now. Spent some time with Consigli on site yesterday, going through their schedule. So they do have a plan in place. Everything needs to go perfect. And so, Todd and I have had discussions. Todd's given me his commitment that he's going to do whatever it takes to provide his staff and the support. We're going to put an on-site PM for the month of August on site to just kind of, be tracking the schedule, working out any issues that come up in the field, and then working with Consigli and Danisco to get quick resolution. So just wanted to share that. The other thing is, so they've been working 5 10-hour days, Monday through Friday, as well as Saturdays. There may be a need to work a Sunday. So Todd's looking into that. We will let you know. And we'll have to, review that with, the city's ordinances and whatnot. But just wanted to put that out there.
Good. Thanks, Mike. On that Sunday, Pete, is that something that you can give some insight to Todd about that, about the requirements?
Yeah, that's correct, that they're gonna need to get relief from the building commissioner on that, because Sundays are off limits.
Mhm. Okay, all right. And does that doesn't have to come before the council, does it? I'm
No.
only thinking.
No, it
time.
doesn't. It's a building commissioner discretion item, I believe.
Good, and they've been, just so everyone knows, they have been very good about helping us with this project, so that will be good.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, we'll continue communication. Andrew Mallion, superintendent on site, has been talking to the building inspector. So we'll continue that chain there, and when we need to exercise that, we'll make sure that we'll dot the i's, cross the t's, and that we have approval for that.
Very good. Thank you. I'm going to bring up another issue, just so the members are aware, and any member of the construction or our OPM crew can chime in to answer. So that folks know, you've heard at the last meeting that there's been a lot of work being done investigating many pre-existing roof leaks at the Welch. And they've been really trying to get to the bottom of what's causing the leaks, and also making sure that not only are the leaks repaired, but if there's been any damage done, they're taking care of looking into all of this. And if I haven't explained it correctly, Chris or Mike or Todd, feel free to jump in. But I did want the members to know that's another issue that's going on. It's not going to hold up anything. School, the school calendar is the one that everybody's really scrambling to make sure that it's all ready for the kids. There are other peripheral issues that have to be taken care of, and they are, and the roof is one of them.
Yeah, Bev. So took a little bit at that yesterday. The only thing, we've done a couple of test cuts throughout the roof. We have identified locations with wet insulation. We don't know the extent of how far the water has traveled. We know the direction of the deck flutes and can make some assumptions, but at this point, our next step is to open up a masonry wall, a brick wall, and understand what the existing flashing condition is, and to, basically identify if that's the source of the leak, which is what we're presuming. It is a pretty significant issue. So, as I said, next step, we need to open up the masonry wall, confirm the flashing condition, and then come up with a fix. And then the next step is going to be figuring out how much of the insulation has become wet. So, it is a pretty significant issue. I think everybody's sort of focused on, getting the kids in the building right now. So not that that's not being worked on, it's just trying to focus on getting the kids in the building right now. So I imagine that come September, mid-September, we should have sort of a plan in place and a recommendation on how to address it. And so hopefully by next meeting, we can come back with a more informing update.
Very good. Thanks, Mike. And those areas that you guys are looking into, they are, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're primarily like corridor areas, not specifically classroom areas. Am I correct with that one?
Basically, Bev, the areas underneath the high walls that penetrate through the roof. So it's really the perimeter of the cafeteria and the perimeter of the gymnasium.
Yeah. And anyone who's been in that school for years knows exactly what you're talking about. Honest to God. So thank you. All right. Is there anything else anyone would like to add on any of those topics we've just discussed? Okay, seeing none, thank you for that discussion. That was good. Christina, do you want to go into the budget?
Yes, thank you, Beth. So I'm including today the financial summary update that I include for all of our SBC meetings. This summary is the same summary that was at our last SBC meeting. We just received change order number 10 fully executed. So I'll add this to our list for our next meeting, as well as hopefully change order 11. But just change order 10 was a small amount. It was around $13,000 between the both contingency buckets. So again, same financial update from last time, and you can see bottom line from the approved total, what's remaining and what we're forecasting. We still have some pretty healthy contingency buckets at this time. So as far as owner's contingency, soft costs, we have about 192,000 remaining. If we were to do all forecasted from owner's construction contingency, we would have 457,000 remaining, and then GMP contingency 351,000 remaining. So again, next month when we meet again, we'll include the change order number 10, as well as hopefully change order 11 will be executed by that time. But just reiterating, contingencies are healthy at this point along in the project, which is great.
Does anyone have any questions on the budget?
Bev, now that we've heard about the existence of the remaining contingency, I just want to follow up on the last round of discussion, which is on these roof issues. We've asked for the architect to write up a detailed repair description for the construction management company to price out using the subs that are available to us, and then to get back to the city with what those costs are and hopefully be able to fund against contingency. These are things that need to be done, and we are carrying good contingency on the project, and I think it's certainly something that can be covered. But we're trying to get the extent of the repairs necessary by doing the investigations that they've talked about, and then to write it up. If we can at some future date get restitution against warranties from the previous roof job, we will try that, but we want to get that work done and then and funded, and then look toward potentially some reimbursements down the line.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Thank you for explaining that so everyone can understand. The work is really critical, and this is the time to get it done and corrected. So it makes sense to do the work, get it done, and then down the road we'll be following up on where the cost actually will come. I'm sorry, not where the cost will come from, where the payments may come from, but that contingency is what's going to allow us to do that work now and get it done. Okay, does anyone have any questions about that? Okay, seeing none. All right, are there any other topics anyone needed to bring up?
Bevan, this is not really related to the project per se directly, but it did come up at a prior meeting, and this is our first meeting since the 4th of July. I just want to thank Consigli for all their support with making the site as safe for the gathering. Chris, you were phenomenal getting us some tables and so forth. So appreciate the support for the event. We had a rainy morning.
Oh, that's
And
right.
honestly, when I showed up there with our volunteers, I thought we might have 10 people, but we ended up with nearly 300 people at the event. So the lesson in all that is never underestimate the power of a free cheeseburger, okay? Anyway, again, I just wanted to thank you, Chris. You were phenomenal there and helping us. Appreciate it.
No problem, Pete. It was a easy thing to take care of.
Oh, that is good to hear. Pete, I'm glad you brought that up. You guys have been good on a lot of different things that have gone on at the school. You've helped us in so many ways.
It's only a small give back to us completely invading and causing noise and disruptions left and right. So it's only fair that, I get Pete a couple of tables for its 4th of July celebration. I think that's a good trade. I'll take that trade any day.
Yeah,
He
well,
gave you a cheeseburger. That is one of the toughest jobs that a counselor has. No exaggeration. The 4th of July celebrations in each ward are, Pete, can you think of a good word to describe them?
it is a unique challenge for Peabody, it is for sure. But we love doing it. And next year, we're going to have probably the most beautiful site in the city here when all of this is wrapped up. So we're very excited about that.
That's true. Oh, good. Okay, well, do we have any public comment? I don't see anyone online. I don't know, Christina or Aiden, if you happen to see anyone, or Jim.
No, I don't see anyone.
Okay, I think people watch the repeats of this show. Trying to boost the ratings here. All right, we'll move into the next one, which would be our next meeting.
Bev, I have one question before.
Sure.
I just thought of this. I have shown Tanya's family the plans for the bench, which I received, which I'm very thankful for, and they were very happy to see. So I
Yeah.
I understand now exactly where the bench is going on the plans, because with the flag, I realized because that's where the flagpole is going. Is there and I want to ask people this, is there a best time to bring the bench back? Should we wait? Should they wait a while longer, or is it something that could be done in the near future?
I would say definitely the near future. Looking at the calendar, I'd say probably the week of the 14th would be best.
14th of
August.
Because there's a lot of work going to happen out front, Beth, with they're gonna
That's what I'm assuming. So I mean, it's not a problem waiting. So it's not like a major rush. I just didn't want to bring it back too soon, or that's the issue really. Just want to make what to tell them.
Yeah, we'll probably hold it over where the trailer location is, Beth, and then we'll obviously bring it to the front of the building when it's ready to get mounted.
Okay, so it can bring it to the site, and then you will put it in the place.
Yep.
Okay, all right. I'll let them know that. Thank you.
No problem.
And Beth,
Yes.
Chris, and Jeff, I would say if the three of you, definitely work with that, Beth, definitely work with Chris and Jeff on coordinating that, because I don't know if anybody else has driven by the school. There is so much going on right now. It is amazing. And there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving equipment down there. And because of the schedule of all the work being done, definitely coordinate. I'm putting it for you three to coordinate that, if that's okay.
Yep, no problem.
Yep, sounds good.
I can do that. I would just recommend that when that bench is received by consigli, that just make it clear that they shouldn't expect to see it the next day out there. That,
Oh, no, yeah, that will, yeah.
yeah, that consigli will be assuming protection of that until I would recommend until
Well, I
there's no
basically like,
there's no heavy
yeah.
there's no heavy equipment used.
Yeah, Beth, now that I'm looking at the calendar a little bit more, let's plan on the week of the 28th. That way, like Jeff's talking about, everything's gone and out of the way, and it's just something that happens, right before school starts.
And the thing is, they could place the bench. I mean, this wouldn't, I mean, if it's what you want to happen.
Yeah, let's call it the end of the month, and then
Okay.
as we get closer and pinpoint the time and day, we'll probably just place it right on the slab.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
You're very welcome.
And actually, Beth, you brought up a good point here. When the bench was originally on the lawn, there were beautiful plantings. Those were all done by the family. Is there an intention to do that again, or are we going with whatever we have out front? I honestly don't know about the landscape drawings at the moment, what's going in that area.
Well, the intention is there, and there's definitely money put aside for that. So it's about probably looking at it, seeing what it looks like and what we'll do around
Yeah.
it. So there is an intent to do some making it look really nice, definitely.
Okay, again, that's something definitely coordinate with Jeff and Chris, because
And
there's
it doesn't have to happen right away either, because
okay.
the people who do this, who will be doing that, are basically volunteers. So
Yeah,
there's so it's about letting what will work best for what's
Yeah.
being done right now.
very good.
So when the plants arrive for those planting beds, the landscape architect will come out to the site and individually place all those items. So what I would recommend is that I will have him reserve an area for those volunteers to perform those plantings, and
Okay.
we could coordinate a meeting with them at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Bev, something else that I wanted just to touch base on and just make sure everyone's aware that there is a dedication plaque, that a proposed design that Danisco has presented to the project team. And I know, Bev, you were working on reviewing that with the mayor and the mayor's office, and Josh's team. Just wanted to bring it up today so people are aware that there is a design that's been proposed, as well as find out from Jeff, Chris, when do we need to make a decision by, or when do you need one by, in order for us to get it fabricated in time?
Yeah, so we'll definitely touch base on that. I think we were planning on probably hanging that during the last phase of the project. It'll be one of the last things that happens. It goes in the main vestibule, or in main lobby rather. But yeah, we'll make sure we have it before we obviously wrap things up.
And honestly, God bless you, Jeff, because Jeff gave me a deadline. It was 2 weeks ago. So it should have been done 2 weeks ago. We've gone back and forth on the design. As soon as we settle on who gets top billing, basically, I'm going to send a copy out to everyone on the team, so you can check the spelling of your name just to make sure we have it correct. So my goal is to get it to Jeff, as we said earlier before this meeting started. I'm hoping to give it to him today and maybe be able to have it approved. We do want to get it approved by the mayor, and I think that would take place on Monday, because I will sit on his desk until I get that approval so that we don't miss any deadlines. But I really do appreciate the extension on that deadline. And it's just so everyone knows, we were trying on our end, we were trying to get it correct. And it's really very nice. Jeff designed it so that it's kind of historically like the original plaque that was in the school. So Anyway, thank you, Christina. That's a good thing to bring up so everyone knows. Expect an email and check your name and write back and let us know if the spelling's correct.
Bev, it might be a good time as we get closer and closer to the end of the next phase with our turnover to the phase 3 is to give the team some idea of what we're thinking about and what was discussed with the mayor about our rededication ceremony and when that might be.
Oh, yes, actually, just so everyone knows, we're trying to start pulling together what we want to do for the big reveal. We are avoiding the very beginning of school because the school has enough going on there with the first days of school and with settling in, and there is still work being done. So we are going to set that in. We're going to have something really special. You, of course, will all be invited. And I also did speak to him about doing something special just for all of you to thank you for all the time you've spent on this project. So there'll be a big public ribbon cutting. But honestly, what we had spoken about loosely is sometime in October, just to give everybody the time to get things done and in place and, as I say, settled in.
I think that just to expand on that, that we would be waiting for the gym to be finished because we would rather not do an opening and say, oh, you can't go in the gym or it's not finished yet or something like that. So once we get past this large push, we'll then look toward when we think the gymnasium will be turned over to the school and show that off because that's going to get some improvements, as I think everybody knows. So we're going to work backwards from when we think the gym will be ready, I think.
And for the long timers, I'm thinking of having a party when the roof is finally fixed after all these years. So that might be something separate. Maybe we'll do that down at Champions. All right. Anything else? Okay, Christina, you've got a next meeting up on the chart for September 7th at 9:30.
Correct, yes.
Okay. That's the first week of school, everybody, so you'll be ready for a new year. It's always like New Year's when school opens, so. Michelle, will you be able to come to that meeting?
I wouldn't miss it.
Thank you. You'll be out straight that day. All right, if there is nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming in and participating in this meeting. As always, if you have any questions, just let us know. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
See ya.
Bye.